Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. I realized that I set this live stream to be made for kids for some reason. So let me go ahead and turn that off real quick so that it gets sent out to everybody. But happy to see you all. I know it's been a few weeks since your boy was on a live stream. Your boy's been busy, man. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm moving. I got a bunch of stuff going on right now, but I wanted to jump on with you all today. We're seeing some big stuff happening. We're seeing some big moves, some very exciting things. Some exciting things happening right now, and I think we should cover it. So I'm happy to see you all. Hope the audio looks good. Hope the video looks good. I think we're all ready to rock and roll. So let me double check all of these settings real quick, and I think we should be good to go. All right, good to see you. Good to see you. What's up, everybody? I see you here. Go ahead and drop a comment in the chat real quick, just so I can know we're good. All right, looks like it. Cool. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. We got Pogo. We got Lou. What's up? What's up? Chico, Larry, SRS, Wally, Dennis, Angry Jack. Why are you angry, G? Keanu, the Jarats. We're all here, baby. Let's rock and roll. Let's get it. So, as I mentioned earlier, and as I've talked a lot about over the last couple of days, this is a very, very important moment. Okay, very important moment. I see you. I see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is a very important moment for Bitcoin. Matter of fact, I posted on X earlier. I said, this is it, the moment of truth for Bitcoin. And the reason why I said that was because what happens here for Bitcoin is going to have a very, very large impact on this market going forward, I believe. Now, it's not going to be the final say, right? This isn't the only moment that matters, but trust me when I tell you, this is an incredibly, incredibly important moment. So we're going to talk about why this moment is so important. We're going to look at some of other altcoins. I'm going to tell you what moves I'm making in my portfolio and all that good stuff. And I'll answer some questions along the way. So let's rock and roll. So First and foremost, why is this important? Okay. Why is this moment that we're seeing right now for Bitcoin so important? Bitcoin's at $94,000 and everyone is excited. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. But this is more important than most realize. And the reason being is because this is a massive zone of structural resistance. Okay. So go ahead and get that on there. Structural resistance. Let me give you some context. So over the last, let's go ahead and call it 12 weeks or so roughly, what we have seen is Bitcoin's price continuously put in this downtrend, right? You can see it. You have the high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You have your lows, low, lower low, lower low. And as Bitcoin's price was venturing downwards through this downtrend, of course, it was just absolutely battering the market. But something changed. As Bitcoin's price did start to try to recover, we saw Bitcoin give us a bit of a return to the upside, still a higher low, or sorry, still a lower high. So nothing too exciting there, right? High, lower high. But then something changed and Bitcoin put in this higher low. So for the first time in this entire move downwards from October to now, we saw Bitcoin's price start to put in the higher low, which was a sign like, hey, maybe there's a world in which we see Bitcoin actually start to change this trend. So instead of being in this downtrend that we've been in, maybe we do start to work our way back upwards. Now, it didn't come without risk. Of course, we talked about the fact that Bitcoin was putting in this bear flag. And that bear flag, I told you, hey, this might not be a quick thing, right? We saw Bitcoin roll here. We put in that higher low. This isn't just going to be an immediately straight up thing. This could take a couple weeks because we do have risk. We have, again, the bear flag. That opens up the door for a pushback to the downside. We have downside liquidations. We have all the things necessary to push us downward. So Bitcoin's going to need to battle here. And I told you what Bitcoin needs to do is it needs to use this higher low and it needs to give us that higher high. I was like, truthfully, although this is exciting, we can't get excited until Bitcoin actually gives us the higher high and shows us, yeah, there could be a trend change happening here. Because the truth is that realistically, Bitcoin could have easily gone boom, 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 straight back down. And we didn't want to see this happen. It would have been the same move that we saw here. It would have been the same move that we saw here. We didn't want to see that same move here. And gladly, Bitcoin didn't do that. What we can see is that Bitcoin's price came back down after breaking through that bear flag. It came back down to the Fibonacci golden zone, which is the level I told you all had the best chance to try to reverse Bitcoin back up. It used this golden zone to push all the way back up to that previous high. And now it is trying to accomplish the mission. And remember, the mission is simple. Set the higher high. You see this previous point of resistance at $94,600? We want to get above it. We want to stay above it. Now, some people will say, well, Tyler, we just did that. We had this high. We had the higher high. I don't count this. Because what you have to understand is that this is not a line. This is not a horizontal line. This is a liquidity range. This is a zone. There's a whole zone right here. And what we want to do is get above that zone of resistance, get above that zone of liquidity. What we don't want to see is that these market manipulators are using this as an opportunity to exit their bags, right? We don't want them to see them. We don't want to see them use these short trades, right? These liquidation levels as an exit opportunity. We don't want to see that. We need to see them push through this resistance and actually create the higher high. Because if we can see Bitcoin's price push back above this resistance zone, which again ends right up here. I guess we'll do this. Boom. At $94,500. Let's call it $94,600. If it can push above that, we have now officially set in the higher low and the higher high. Now, Tyler, does that mean that if Bitcoin breaks above 94,000, it's going to go straight up to 100K? No, it does not mean that. It's not the end all be all. It just means that it has a better chance. Because the truth is that Bitcoin could still do this. And this is something not a lot of people are willing to talk about. Bitcoin still could be in position to make a move just like this. Watch. This move, as annoying as it would be, could still be on the way. In which Bitcoin goes boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom, right on back down. And a lot of people don't want to, accept that this is a possibility, but it absolutely is. And so, no, breaking above this resistance zone isn't everything. It just means that we have more of an opportunity. What you have to understand is that when Bitcoin's price made this move, it started to decrease the percentage chance that we actually continue back up to an all-time high, right? Like when Bitcoin was right here, look right here in this little zone, and we saw Bitcoin kind of bouncing here, we had really good chances of just breaking back out towards 130K, really good chances. And then when Bitcoin's price rolled down to $100,000, I'd say we still had pretty decent chances here, right? We had some pretty decent chances, recovery, re-entry back into the range, breaking back up. But the second that Bitcoin, it saw its price come back up to the bottom side of this range, bounce off of 100K, come up to this range, get rejected, and then fall down to 80K, our odds of running back up to an all-time high fell dramatically. Dramatically. Like our percentage chances of going back up to an all-time high probably dropped by 30 or 40% the second that Bitcoin got this fall right here. And so by making this move back up and starting to re-clear through resistance and put in what could be, a little Adam and Eve or a cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, reversal structure, and push towards the upside, by making this moves, all we're doing is reclaiming some of our percentage chances at being able to make that move back up towards an all-time high. Because that's what many of us are looking for. That's what we at least are hoping for. Like, yeah, we're hoping for an all-time high. But the truth is that we still don't have great percentage chances of getting back up there yet. Getting back above this resistance gives us a chance at being able to make it up there. Now, the truth is that there are still tests in the way. There's still $97,000, a strong liquidity level. There's still $100,000, which is obviously a major zone of psychological support and structural support. There's $108,000, as you can see up here. I don't want to do that. Let's do this. Boom. There's $107,000 to $108,000, which was that mid-range liquidity. So there are still a lot of levels above us that we need to conquer. So getting above 94K isn't, again, the moment that, that everything changes, but it's a massive moment. And it would be huge for Bitcoin, if it can get above this red box. So what do you do right now? The truth is that you just sit back and watch. Bitcoin's in a bit of a dead zone right now because it has the catalysts, it has the reason to make the move upwards. We are seeing the world move in a bit more of a risk-on perspective. Interest rates falling, quantitative easing possibly beginning. We see a lot of those conflicts from last year starting to go a little bit neutral. We have the catalyst, we have the reason to go up, but the same way that we have reason enough to go up, we have reason to go down. You got to think about the fact that we have a CME gap. We have a couple CME gaps, actually. Look at this. Let's go. No, not this one. Here, let me get this pulled up. I want to see. Hold on, give me 1 second. There's one specifically that I've been using. I'm looking for it. I'll go find it. Oh, look, you know what? I posted it on X. There was one that I already had drawn on, but I don't remember where it is. But look, we have a CME gap on Bitcoin that sits between 91,000 and or 90.5 thousand and 91.3 thousand. And we have another CME gap that sits between 88.5 and 88,000, roughly. So you have your CME gap still to the downside. I'll show you this chart in a little bit here. But you have your CME gaps back down here. In addition to that, when you go look at your liquidation map, this is starting to get a little sus. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin 1. That's the one I was using. Yeah. I was using previously before. Hold on. I had switched, and I couldn't remember which one that I switched to, but I'm pretty sure this is the one. This is the one. Yeah. Because I had previously been using a different one. Anyway, so you have your CME gaps obviously sitting just directly in front of you. Right. And again, you don't have to go down. People think you have to go fill CME gaps. You do not have to. There are CME gaps along the way whenever you really start to first gain traction that don't get filled. You don't have to fill them. They do get filled often, but they're worth considering. They're just an extra layer of thought. But again, you have your CME gaps that are sitting down there. You have your liquidation maps. All are now favoring downside movement. Downside incentive. 1 day, 7 day, 30 day. Matter of fact, the 30 day is heavily leaning. And what concerns me about the 30-day liquidation map is that the majority of your liquidations sit low. So for example, the vast majority, the buildup of liquidations to the downside sit around 86.3. It's not like one of those moments where they're all right here. They're right here. More around 86,000. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that there's a couple things going on here at once. You have CME gaps sitting roughly right here, roughly right here. And then you have your liquidations sitting roughly right here. So the truth is that just like there is reason enough for this market to make this breakout, there is reason enough for it to not. I would almost go as far as to say that we are in a coin flip right now. I give it a 55-45, actually. I think Bitcoin has a 55% chance at breaking through this red zone of resistance, structural resistance. I think it has a 45% chance of getting rejected. The only reason why I am leaning a little bit towards this upside move is because structurally, this move hasn't been super exhausting yet. And there could be just enough juice to get us back above that zone. So there is a chance that we break this. There's not a lot of edge to it, though. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, for example, look at your 4-hour RSI. When Bitcoin has made parabolic moves, like real good parabolic moves, and started to really give us a good uptrend, it's been able to push a little higher than this. So like in this extensive move upwards, we've gone a little bit higher. In this extensive move upwards, we've gone a little bit higher. In this extensive breakout move upwards, we've gone a little higher. When we break out of ranges, we can go a little bit higher. So Bitcoin has the room. Now, there is a bit of concern because the 1-hour RSI, for example, is showing clear signs of weakening. High, lower high, high, higher high, right? So we're clearly seeing a drop-off in sentiment, not sentiment, strength there. But I think we could push that needle a little bit higher. But there's massive risk of pullback right now. Thank you. Can you grab me a fork? Is there one in there? Thanks. So when I look at this, I think, oh, great. This is so exciting. This is so exciting that Bitcoin finally might be making that move. We may finally be seeing Bitcoin opening up the door for the move. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, so I think I'm back now. I think I'm good. Let me know if I'm cool. Just put a 1 in the chat if I'm good. But what I was getting at, yeah, the lizard people trying to get me, G. But yeah, so I was saying, like, yes, it is exciting that we may finally be getting this move upwards and we may finally be getting this breakout. We're not there yet. This would be the first real challenge. Like, this would be the first real task. You know, one way that you could look at this market, and the way that I'm looking at it, is that for Bitcoin's price to get back up to all-time highs and really open up for a continued bull market, is that there's multiple challenges. There's multiple battles. Let's use that as a reference. There's multiple battles, okay? Let me just kind of quickly draw these in. There's multiple battles that we need to win. The bulls need to win in order for us to push up towards an all-time high. This is the first one. So like all of the progress that we've made recently to start kind of coming back up and create the higher low, this is like all leading up to this moment for us to try to win this first battle. And if we can win this first battle right here, then, well, we continue to the next and continue to the next and continue to the next. Now, the good thing, though, is that as you push upwards, your sentiment does usually carry you pretty far. So you start to push upwards, the shorts start getting squeezed. They have to cover, of course, their short positions. So that means they have to spot buy those positions. So then the market can kind of short squeeze its way upwards, right? Which you need it because these resistance levels get stronger and stronger the higher you go. But this first one is probably the most important one. Because every time that Bitcoin has tried to make its way up, it's lost that first battle almost every single time. For example, right here, we had this previous zone of micro resistance. The first battle we had, we lost, got rejected. Bitcoin came back down. It ran all the way up into this zone of resistance right here, this previous point of support. And guess what? It lost that battle, immediately capitulated. Bitcoin came back up and created this resistance, came back down, set the higher low. Good thing. Maybe some could say that that's even a battle in itself. But this is where the real battle starts. Can Bitcoin break the zone? This is what we're looking for. So that's what Bitcoin needs to do. So that's what needs to happen. And that's what we need to be paying the most amount of attention to. So what am I doing right now? Not much, really. So I created this. I thought y'all might find this interesting. And this is like a visual representation of what I'm doing in my crypto portfolio. So the red zone is where I'd be taking profits. As many of you may or may not know, my average cost on Bitcoin is $33,000. I did a shit ton of buying of Bitcoin back at the all-time high, the previous all-time high, everywhere in here. The reason being, truth be told, is that I didn't have a lot of crypto back here. As we saw this rally happen, I started to make a lot more money from my businesses and my YouTube channel and trading in my investment portfolio. I doubled down on it and invested a ton of money up here. I didn't take any profit. I basically just kept re-injecting more and more capital. When the bear market started, I got wrecked. My positions all started to really take a dive, but I used that as an opportunity to lower my average cost. I was accumulating Bitcoin sub $20,000. And because of that, my average cost for Bitcoin now sits between 32 and 33K, generally right around here, because I pulled my average cost down in this bear market. So because of that, based on the fact that I am in long-term profit, this is kind of how I'm responding to this market. This is kind of my plan. The light red means light profit taking. The higher we go, the darker it goes. And the darker it gets, the more profit taking I'm going to be doing. The further down we go, the more dollar cost averaging I'll be doing. It's very simple. So right now, as you can see, we're in a dead zone. We're sitting in between my dollar cost average zone and my take profit zone. I was buying in here, and I will be taking profits if we push into here. And a lot of people say, Tyler, why in the world would you be selling if we go to, say, 99K or 100K? And the truth is that, again, once we fell below 100K right here, we dramatically increased the odds that we go into a bear market. Dramatic. I told you all this. You know, when Bitcoin was up here, many people are like, Tyler, are you bearish? I'm like, no. While Bitcoin's above 100K, I'm not even remotely concerned. When we fall below 100K, especially 90K, that's when I'll get concerned that we're in a bear market. And then Bitcoin did that. And so now the truth is that there's so many battles in front of us to get back up to an all-time high. You have to be realistic and expect, like, hey, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be challenges. And there is a world in which Bitcoin is just in a relief rally where it just does this and it continues back down. I don't particularly think so, but it could. And knowing that my average cost on Bitcoin is $33,000, which is nearly a 3x from here, I would rather still be taking some profit, knowing that at any given point, we might capitulate. You know, when I think about this as an example, I always go back to what I did back in 2022. When Bitcoin's price found this floor and it started to rally, I actually started taking profits right here at these previous highs. And so many people back then were like, Tyler, why are you taking profits right now? We just set the higher low. We're going into another continuation. And people were calling, what was it? What was this called? I can't remember. It was like a slabbed consolidation. It was something like that. And everybody said that we were going to come back up and then break out. But I said, well, listen, that would be great if we do that. But the truth is that I got buys in right here. There is a risk that we run into resistance up here. And I thought the resistance was going to be higher. So I'm going to start taking profits as we head up to that, just in case we capitulate. And we never even got that high. So I use that as a lesson to think, you know what? I'm still up. I'm still in a profit. So as we push higher, knowing the battles that are ahead of us, we'll take a little profit off the table. I bought the lows, take profits on the highs. And a lot of people won't like that. They'll say, Tyler, you're being bearish. I don't give a shit what you have to say. If I'm going to be 100% honest, crypto is a game where your goal should be to buy low and sell high, period. Unless you're just going to hold it for a long time. Even then, you're still buying low and selling high. So when I successfully accomplish a buy low, guess what I'm going to do? Take some profit the higher we go. Now, the truth is that these light pinks, even this, all of this, these aren't big take profits. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be doing a lot of big sales in here because as we go higher, I think we have a decent chance of making a run back up towards our all-time high. We just have some battles in front of us. So I'm going to save my big profit taking for the higher levels, but I will do some as we go a little bit higher. And if Bitcoin fails this, if Bitcoin continues back down, let's say it gets rejected right here, and it does push towards these lower levels, I'm just go back doing what I was doing. Do a little bit of accumulating here, do a little bit more as we enter in this zone, do a lot more as we enter in this zone, and buy as much as humanly possible if Bitcoin falls anywhere between $61,000 and $40,000. I mean, the way that I'd be buying, you could call me Michael Saylor 2.0. I'm just much more broke and black, but you get the point. I think you get it, right? And it's a very simple game plan. People overcomplicate everything. Oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. No, it's not very complicated. Bitcoin go up, take a little profit. Bitcoin go down, buy a little bit. I think that's pretty simple, right? And I would apply that to my altcoins as well. For example, if Bitcoin continues to break out towards some of these higher levels, sure, I'll take a little bit of profit here. And I'll take a little bit of profit probably on some of the alts that outperform. For example, if Bitcoin breaks 94K and ETH starts to push back up into some of these key zones of resistance, which I'll go over more in depth later on. Yeah, sure. Take a little profit off ETH, right? I bought ETH at 2750. Happy to take a little bit of profit above 3,500. Why wouldn't I? Or Solana. If Solana can get a break out of this golden zone and push back up towards 150 plus, that'd be great. Guys, we bought Solana around like $123. Sure, I'll take that gain. Same with XRP. We scooped XRP at 190. Our limit orders were 190. So if XRP runs to 250, yeah, take a little profit. BNB, we scooped BNB at $825. We scooped $825 BNB. If that bad boy can run back up to 1,000, you bet your ass I'm taking some profit off the table. Of course not. Of course I would. I'm probably one of the most disliked creators during bull periods. And you know why I'm disliked during times like this? It's because I'm the type of guy and I'm the type of creator who will cheer for the market to go up and hope that it goes up. And at the same time that I'm hoping it goes up, I'm taking profits off the table. Because I want it to. I want it to go up so I, and hopefully you guys, can take profits. That's what you should do. What are you doing if you're not trying to lock in some gains? Unless you're a long-term believer in the technology and you want to use Bitcoin to replace the dollar and you don't want to hold fiat, yada, yada. Have fun. That's not most of you. Most of you got into crypto to make money. And you can't make money if you don't sell. Simple as that. Way I see it. So I know it makes me a little disliked and people don't like to hear it. I don't give a shit how you feel, to be honest. I don't care. Because me and the community, what we do is we buy low and we sell high. And that's what's what we've done. It's what we'll continue to do. Matter of fact, let's look at that chart. Where's that one chart that I have? It speaks for itself. The green bubbles are when we've done our biggest purchases. The red bubbles of when we sold. We buy the lows. Scoop the lows. We sell the highs. And when we sell big. That's what we'll continue to do. That's what we continue to do. Okay? So that's the game plan for me. When it comes to, let's see, Bitcoin right now, we're looking okay. This battle is battling though, right? And you can kind of see that playing out right now. So kind of turn that down a bit. You can see what I mean. You see how we got up towards this resistance zone and we're starting to see Bitcoin's price pull back? That's normal. Don't be too scared of this. I wouldn't be too scared of this. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, we're falling. It's not that big a deal. Like, it's not that big a deal, to be honest. We were very overextended, especially on the 1 hour charts. Very overextended. We got that bearish divergence. Lower high, higher high. So Bitcoin very well may need to come back down and find some sort of support before reattempting this. That would be totally normal. Maybe Bitcoin comes back down, gets rejected, takes out some of those CME gaps, take out some of those liquidation levels, builds up a higher low of support and continues upwards. I wouldn't start getting concerned again, like worried, until Bitcoin starts like nuking through. 1 second. Where's our intersection point? This zone. This. If you get a Bitcoin that starts coming back down and smokes through like 87, that's concerning. That's concerning. But Bitcoin coming back down, even retesting, previous points of resistance, right? Like coming back down to say 90.5, clearing out that CME gap, that's just totally normal. It's totally normal. I wouldn't be remotely concerned about that. So Bitcoin's in a good spot. It's actually in a good spot. It has a good opportunity here to start trying to work itself back up towards some of those high levels and go for some of those higher up battles. We just can't start cheering yet. We can't get too excited yet. We can't get overly optimistic and start screaming at everybody on X and calling everybody who's bearish you can't say that word on YouTube anymore, a moron. We can't do that yet. Let's let it clear the red box. Let's break this red zone of structural resistance, and that'll be what opens up the door for a continued move upwards. And again, if it pulls back, don't freak out. It's normal. We have a ton of liquidity below us, a ton of support below us. We have a lot of incentive to come back down, especially in the short term. It's totally fine. It's not a big deal. Let's just go from there. And so in the meantime, again, as you can tell from my chart, wherever it would be, here we go. While we're right here, this is dead zone. I'm not doing buys. I'm not doing sells. I'm not doing shit. I'm just waiting. We push higher, take profit zone. We push lower, dollar cost average zone. Same reason why we scooped lows, took some profits here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Right? We'll continue on to this. Okay, so I'll keep you updated as this does play out. But the primary focus is Bitcoin. I know a lot of you guys are saying, Tyler, look at this chart or that chart or whatever it may be. I don't really think Ethereum's chart individually is important. I don't think BNB's chart individually is important. I don't think SWI's chart individually is important because I do not believe that any of them will continue to rally if Bitcoin dumps. If Bitcoin comes back down to 88,000, I genuinely believe it'll pull the rest of the market down with it. So because of that, I don't see a point in focusing too heavily on individual altcoin charts. I think the smarter play in that instance would be to primarily focus on Bitcoin. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do. Okay. So to just kind of give you the overall thesis, I'm going to answer some questions from the chat here in a second, then I got to go. But to give you the overall perspective, Bitcoin looks great. Fantastic. But don't get too excited yet because we're in the first battle right now. And Bitcoin has to break this red box. If it does, much gooder is hilarious. Much better spot. And the door of opportunity for a push up towards 100, 98, 99, very wide open. And while Bitcoin's up here, we have a good shot. Yeah, sure, it may come back. Might try to pull back a little bit, test some of the CME gaps, some of the liquidation levels. Concerned whatsoever until it starts nuking through this little area down here. Okay. So yeah, yeah, I think that's the majority of it, really, Yeah. So a couple things before I answer some questions from the chat. I will remind you all, if you are trading any of this, like if you're trading this actively, shorting, longing, whatever, there's a link to BTCC down below. You guys can get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards. If you're watching this on X, it's the link in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description below. Feel free to go check that out and go sign up, go deposit, go get trading today. I do all my trading on BTCC. I think you guys will like it. I Trust Capital. If you're not trading, but you're just holding crypto, you can open up a crypto retirement account. You can save up to 37% on crypto taxes legally. Why wouldn't you save on crypto taxes if you can legally? The link is down below. You're also going to get a $100 funding bonus. So you can kick off that retirement account with free money. It's fantastic. Go check that out down below. And lastly, don't forget, all the things that I'm buying, all the things that I'm selling, all the things that I'm doing are all over in the crypto school. This is where I post everything that I'm doing. There's lessons here. At this. Maybe it'll load, maybe it won't. My internet's kind of butt today, but look at the gains today. I mean, look, like this is just ridiculous. This community goes absolutely nuts. So feel free to check out the link to that down below. It's all available for you there. So yeah, traders, BTCC, long-term holders, I Trust Capital, everybody, check out the crypto school. Well, let's answer some questions. What's up? How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? Can you talk about your thoughts on SWI and Aster? I like them. I think SWI is very good. It made the cut. It is one of the cryptos that I rotated some of my dead bags into, and I'm glad I did. As you all know, I sold some of my dead cryptos that weren't performing so well and bought some of my best. Look at SWI. Absolutely running from the time I did that. I mean, just on this run, SWI's up 40%. I'm so glad I did. Aster's another one that I did rotate to. I don't think this is Aster. It looks like Aave. Yeah. Aster here. Aster's another one. I was able to accumulate some of this bad boy back down here because my average cost on Aster was like 90-something cents. So my average cost was way up here because I just opened that portfolio position around here. It nuked. I was able to accumulate. I rotated some of my previous positions into my Aster bag as well, and this thing is looking good too. So looking good. Aster, SWI, both of them. They both made the cut. They're both very good. I only have like 8 positions in my portfolio now. Let's see. Why is XRP outpacing the market? Because risk on assets and crypto is doing well. Doing good. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Peter? Every day we good. Love it. What do you think of XCN and how it's pumped like 50% right now? I think it's good. It's not for me. It's not in my bag, but I do think it's solid. Crypto's replacing. I haven't checked that one out. What crypto you sell? I'll go into that pretty soon. I'm questioning how I talk about that because I don't want to piss too many people off. Like some cryptos I sold not because they're bad, but more just because I was tired of them. If that makes sense. Like Ada Cardano is a great example. I was just tired of it and just sold it. So I'll go into that at some point soon. Bitcoin to $1 million by the summer is not happening. Just waiting for you to give me my financial advice for the day. Your financial advice is to take profit if you're up. Did you give a portfolio breakdown yet? Not yet. Pretty soon. Pretty soon. Tars AI also pumped 50% last time. Some guy bullshitting telling you it's your fault. XDC, I haven't done a ton of research into it. I wish I listened to you. I had some money in a dead coin. I didn't rotate it. I said, what if at 1,000x the next day? Now it's delisted and went like 100%. Jeez. Feels like someone's messing with me. I closed out my position from 4 years ago. I kept Bitcoin and Solana. I got rid of Render and Fetch. Yeah. But that was reasonable. I think giving up on Render and Fetch, like although they are utility based, they were very dead. They were very boring. Who'd have knew? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought, you know? What did you sell aside from ADA? Another good example of what I sold was like I sold some Polkadot. There isn't enough data. Need to at least see a weekly close above 94K for me to have any legit short-term to mid-term optimism. Still expecting this correct down with all liquidations there. Reasonable. Super reasonable. Agreed. We could be. You mentioned Tarzan months ago. You still think it can do well, or you think bubble will pop? I think it could still do well, yeah. It's doing decent right now. What percentage profits would you be taking on alts up 40%? 10, 15%. I don't see a reason as to why not. Fetch is doing well. Yeah. The resistance is not going to be broken, dog. Maybe not right now. Is Ape a good hold? I don't hold it. Charles Hoskinson missed the boat and should have been doing what Solana did, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I don't know. I just feel like he's bag fumbled this a lot. How's Pepe looking? Crazy work, dude. Pepe pumping all the way back into this zone of support is insanity. I'm not going to lie. Like, look at all this support here. Head and shoulders, full capitulation and breakdown, retest. I would assume that's a Fibonacci touch on the bottom side. It's a beautiful Fibonacci touch on the bottom side, and a reversal back up to support is just insane. That's crazy work from Pepe. I'm not going to lie. If it comes back and it like starts breaking through trend, it would just be that would be one of the craziest reversals I've seen from an altcoin in a long time. Yeah, I can't stomach it. This fetch AI are my biggest place. I've been stacking for 4 years, and I finally got rid of them like 2 months ago. I thought they were going to go. Holy crap. Fast TA on XRP? Yeah, sure. So XRP right now is kind of entering into a bit of a battle league of its own. So like kind of when I look at XRP, what I see is like, okay, it came back down, tested a massive support zone. I mean, what a floor down here. Jesus. I mean, this floor is held for over a year now. Hit the floor, came back up, and is now pushing up into resistance. It has golden zone resistance right here. It has trend resistance here. It has structural resistance here, all sitting between where we are right now and roughly $2.70. So what I would say is that, yeah, like XRP looks good, and I would definitely feel glad about how it's doing, but the party's just starting with XRP. Like XRP needs to break through this zone right here. And if it can break through this zone, we might be talking about a $4 XRP. We might be talking about a $4 XRP. So definitely feeling a little bit good about what XRP is doing, but don't get too far ahead of yourselves. The battle is starting now. The battle just started for XRP. It's render that's really killing me, though. I had 10,000 render, and I was only at like $2.40 I should have kept. Yeah, I mean, you can't regret. Like, there's no point in thinking about it anymore. I get it, but you can't harp on it too much. I mean, what can you do now? You just got to learn and correct. That's all you can do. I have a short trade open right now on Bitcoin at 87,000 as a hedge trade against my long-term portfolio. What would you do if you sold 70% of your portfolio at a 60% loss just before the market started to pump again? Probably start slowly re-entering into actual good utility things that I won't dump whenever I feel a little stressed. I do have a little bit of XRP in my bag, yes. Long-term view is that I think a $5 XRP is reasonable eventually. I just don't know how long, but I'm willing to hold it until then. Tyler, you talked about Coral a while ago. Yeah, I think maybe that was you who's asked me a ton about it. I don't really have many thoughts about it. I still hold it. It is in my microcap risky bag. It'll either do well or it won't. That's kind of my microcap positions are all gambles. I know that. So the ones that are actually still building, I leave them alone and just hope that it does well. Gave up on ETH last year. All right. Bit of TA on Sonic, please. I thought I had it on here somewhere. No, this isn't it. Wait, is this it? Yeah, this one. This is the chart. There we go. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really done well, has it? Yeah, I mean, fuck. Rough one there. I would feel optimistic about the fact that it's overextended, but I definitely would. Performing like this in general is not good, right? So, like, even if it starts to rally, the thing is, when you have these big dumps, you can see them followed by big pumps, but I wouldn't like holding a crypto that does this. Not when so many other ones have similar upside potential, but much less downside movement like this. So, yeah, I don't like that personally. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. If Sonic was my biggest bag, I would be rotating some of it into just better stuff, I appreciate the $2 donation, Jeremy. Appreciate you, G. I'll take a quick look at it. Is it this? Hmm. I mean, it looks pretty good, like it's holding up decently well. The only thing I don't like is how much strength it took for it to make this move. So it took a lot of strength and a lot of momentum for a class to be able to push back up towards some of these high levels. So I definitely wouldn't be just like aping into it right now. I would be looking for some sort of consolidation or pullback first before entry, for sure. And taking profit if I scoop these lows. Shout out to Giorgio, great guy. When you and Connor are going to have a live session? Yeah, we need to do one soon, shouldn't we? I'd be down for that. What is happening on Polymarket? I saw somebody message that. Let's see. People think there's a 51% chance that Bitcoin hits $100,000 in January. I think there's decent. I think it's a little bit better odds than that. I think we're talking about 55%, but it is pretty similar. I think it's pretty similar odds. I think that's super reasonable. It's a decent payout, though. What is that? What is that payout? No, not. I was about to say, what the fuck? Not that. It's like nearly 2-to-1, right? Yeah, almost 2-to-1. It's not bad. It's not bad odds, honestly. 105. That's decent odds, actually. 3.2 return on that is interesting. What price will Ethereum hit in January? 3,800 is at 23%. Yeah, that's a rough move. That'd be a hard move. I think 3,400 is reasonable. What are the pays on that? 70? Yeah. It's not great odds, is it? Like 139? Yeah, $139 pay on there. It's like might as well fucking buy ETH. Y'all ever do anything in prediction markets? I fuck around on it here and there. It's one of my favorite tools for gauging retail sentiment. Only 390,000 volume on this one is interesting. $2.60 is a 52% chance, a little bit better than 2 to 1. Ooh, I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't call that a 50% chancer. I would say that's more like a 45er. I feel like that's a little bit elevated odds. So that could be the flip side argument. Oh, it's flip flopping like crazy though. What's that? 190? Yeah. I love watching this. I watch this shit all day long. Now, some of them obviously don't have enough volume to give you a great odds measure, but like I think it's still interesting. Damn, S&P 500 performance. I think that's high. I think 43% chance for Bitcoin is high. Odds on most of them though is interesting. Anyway, sorry, I know I've been harping on this one for a minute. I was just kind of curious to see what the odds were. Anywho, Polymarket is going to allow that on real estate soon. That's interesting. Have you ever tried options? Yeah, I used to trade options in the stock market back in the day. A good volume on those. I'd like to see 500,000 to a million before I enter. The little green is an indication of nothing. All righty. All right, guys. Well, look, I just wanted to kind of give you guys my general thoughts. Remember, the biggest thing we need to be on the lookout for right now is whether or not Bitcoin can break the red zone. Can it break the red zone or not? Everything comes down to that. So watch it very, very closely. I'll be here every day updating you. Don't forget, if you haven't followed me on YouTube, give your boy a follow. Why don't you? Here's my YouTube channel. Feel free to drop a follow. Tyler Hill Crypto. Feel free to subscribe. And then also I post on X as well, 3 to 4 times a day, every day, just dropping opinions and stuff. Feel free to give me a follow there. Both of those are linked down below. If you are trading crypto, feel free to go sign up on BTCC. You can get up to $10,000 in bonuses. I Trust Capital is giving a $100 funding bonus. Again, it's a fantastic opportunity. And check out the Crypto School, which is where you can see all of the gains and all of the info, the alpha, all that good stuff. But I'm sorry that it was only a quick one. I do have a couple things I need to go do. Like I mentioned, I'm on the move. I'm moving houses and stuff soon. So have a lot going on, but I always want to jump on and give you guys updates. So I'm glad you all were able to join in. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next